So, welcome back to, I don't know, well, maybe you haven't been with us before, or this is your first time, second time, or this is now your third time. But welcome back to Hospitality Mythbusters with the practical philosopher Ioannis.
And Omar, the Energizer.
Great. So what are we talking about today?
Today's myth is customers will tell 3 people if they have a good experience and 100 people if they have a bad one. So the myth is all about people who are dissatisfied will tell more than people who are satisfied.
So what are we saying?
I don't know. We're supposed to bust
is there a myth? So is there a myth around, bad news travels twice as fast as good news? Yeah. I mean, that in itself is a myth. You're the digital guy. Social media depends on how many followers you got. Yeah. So am I going to tell 3 people or am I going to tell 100 people? Well, if I have 100 followers, I'm going to go out to those 100 followers and say, you know what, I had a really bad experience. Yeah. As opposed to, I'm going to go back to those 100, 200, 300 followers who's on my LinkedIn profile.
No, social media has turned this on its head, and this myth is way before social media because even if you don't have followers, I mean, look at TripAdvisor. If you anyone posts a comment, it's then seen, it's aggregated, and basically when you look at Amazon does the same, any of these companies, the ratings and the people's likes or dislikes is what guides consumers. But before we go and we think about that a little bit more, I wanted to go back to where the myth maybe have started from.
Yeah.
And that is, if we look at even recent research about rewards and punishment. Up until relatively recently, we thought that, the research suggested that maybe the rewards, the carrot or the stick, were equally valued. Either could work, but actually there's been a number of researchers that are coming up that in terms of how your mind works and the chemistry of the mind, punishment, unfortunately, and I hate to say that because I'm always an optimist, stays longer and allows you to react and motivates you more than perhaps reward. So I don't know if that's true. I'm not saying that's true, but maybe that's what the kind of stuff that come into research now have always been a constant philosophy of the older generations, and perhaps that's where the myth came back from, that the dissatisfied person. And let's reflect a little bit about without social media. If somebody is satisfied versus somebody who is dissatisfied, are they likely to tell more people, or are they likely to discuss it more directly and more openly? Because I think that's where the myth is mixed. And from my personal experience, if somebody is dissatisfied with something, they're more than likely to talk about it. So when you invite feedback, in a hotel, in your restaurant, in anything you do, a dissatisfied customer, depending on their culture as well, you got to remember that, because my experience is if you were in Greece or Italy or France even, and you are a dissatisfied French, Greek, Italian, because when you say straight away, you say like, what is going on here? But in the UK, and I've lived long enough here to know that most customers will not tell you that. Just walk out and you'll never see them again, which is the most dangerous thing. You want your customers to give you feedback, right?
Yeah.
So is it the number of people we tell, or is it how often we tell anyone? Where is the myth? Without social media, we'll bring social media in the mix in a moment.
The myth is that we good bad news travels twice as fast as good news, and the fact is, when we're dissatisfied with something, a service, a product, we will go and tell people. Yeah. We'll tell more people about our dissatisfaction than our satisfaction.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that is the case anymore. I don't think that is, because the way in which we communicate via social media platforms or just in general, a lot of time now we don't say anything until we're asked. It's almost like, we're looking for recommendations. We're so influenced now.
So let's bring social media into the mix, because the reality of a society changes every so often, every few decades, I guess. What was true and real in the past might not be so. Yeah.
No, I think, yes, what I was getting at, when you think about social media and you think about the influencers, they're only influencers influencing the people who allow them to be influenced by that person. So I may have some, I hear that restaurant or that hotel is not a great place to stay. My first question is not, that we can't go there. That's not my first thought. My first thought now is, who's saying it?
Yeah, you need to dig deeper. I have to say, with my own personal research also, my academic research, which I do a lot on social media, if you look at numbers, purely numbers, and you clear the data, it is that a lot of the reviews are positive.
Yeah.
So this reality that people will tell more people balances out by the number of comments you get today. In the past, if you only allowed word of mouth, if all you had was word of mouth, then that probably, maybe that myth at some point in history was true, but nowadays it isn't.
Yeah.
Everybody has now the power of electronic word of mouth, and most people will review an experience. It's becoming the norm now to post your photos, review a restaurant, review a hotel, and a lot of people are happy to share the good, memorable moments as well, which is a great thing to see. But research-wise, it's way more positive reviews than negative reviews. We hope we busted this myth.
Yes.
Post in the comments, like, share. What else do they do in this channel?
Yeah.
And
comment. Leave, yes, comments, whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah, whether Ioannis, you messed up, or and also if you have a myth that you're thinking, oh, please do that one, and we'll try to philosophize and energize.
Yes, energize the thinking to think differently. But yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. Until next time.